All right, today I just want to make a video, kind of in-depth video about the wheel hub removal and installation on Chevalier surface grinders. This could be a 12 by 24 or 16 by 40 or 16 by 32. They're all pretty much the same. You've got a spindle, a taper spindle here with a bore on the inside that's threaded. You have, this is your wheel hub. This is one half of the wheel hub that goes over your spindle. You have a threaded collar. In this case, we've made it red. And you have the differential screw that they talk about in the booklet or the manual. I've got some green on that. And the very first thing that you want to do if you're starting off with a new machine or a machine that you already have the wheel off, is everything has to be clean. You have internal threads inside of here that have to be clean. You have a left-hand thread on here that has to be cleaned, as well as a right-hand thread on here. And you have an internal and external thread on this collar. So the external thread, I believe, is a left-hand thread. The internal thread is a right-handed thread. There's a lot of stuff going on here, and a lot of people get really confused. But the very first thing you want to do is you want to make sure all these threads are clean. So if you're starting off fresh and can put this in a parts washer and blow all the grit and grime out of there and grease and stuff, it would be a good thing to do, as well as inside the spindle here, maybe with a small toothbrush. The manual, the Chevalier manual, recommends you put a little bit of grease on the spindle and a little bit of grease on all these little threads. I just used a little light general purpose grease, and then I basically wiped most of it off with my hand. So the next thing they want you to do, the first thing after all of this, is they want you to screw this differential screw in. And now this is a left-hand thread, and it's 14 millimeter. You can use a 14 millimeter wrench, Allen head wrench. Screw it in a little bit by hand, and then put your hub up on the machine with your wheel on there or whatever, and continue turning this in until the face of this screw and the face of this hub are parallel. So they want you to use a straight edge. This is just a little piece of straight edge. Keep checking it to see if you've got a nice face on here, which I do now. So that would be the next thing. So you have this outer collar. When I screw this on, this is also going to be a left-hand thread. So I'm going to turn this counterclockwise, but at the same time, I'm trying to catch the threads inside. So it's a little tricky. You want to just be careful and go slow. If the screw inside starts to turn, you can hold it so that it doesn't turn. Now you just want to spin this down. On a new machine, this will just have a knurl on the outside. We get them in here, and the people have put pipe wrenches on them and tried to hit these off with a chisel. So, you know, this just has to be finger tight, hand tight. That's all there is to it. And once you get that hand tight, now you don't want to get this any tighter. Now you want to go back, continue going back counterclockwise or to the left with your screw inside until you start to feel this hub tightening up. Okay. Not counterclockwise, clockwise. And then you will feel this hub start to tighten up. And we didn't touch this. And now when it's time to remove this hub, you could actually give this right now a little bit of a tap. But you have to know that when it comes time to remove the wheel, provided it was put on there properly, you need to now go counterclockwise to break that loose, and you will get at least and you want to hold this outer nut, you'll get at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 good turns, and this will be nice and loose. And at this point now, you want to turn this red nut clockwise, and it's a reverse thread, so this is going to allow the whole thing to come off the spindle. And that's how they expect you to do it. That's only seen on these Chevaliers. It's their system, it works, but it has to be done properly. Again, now you'd want to put your hub back on, provided everything was nice and clean. You want to make sure that this is flush with the face of the hub. Now you carefully screw this on counterclockwise. It's the left-hand thread. You're not only trying to get the outside thread lined up, but the inside one also, and it is tricky. You got to kind of jiggle it around. And keep the inside screw from turning. You don't want that inside screw to turn at this point. Now you get here, just snug up against the face, and go in again, about 6 turns, and you're going to start to feel the hub pulling it until it's tight. When it's time to remove it, all you have to do is loosen it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and loosen this, and it comes right off. So that's it.